From the farmers and ranchers of Farm Bureau, this is Farm Weekend. The American Farm Bureau Federation surveyed farmers regarding their long-term concerns about fertilizers. Chad Smith has more on the findings.
The American Farm Bureau Federation surveyed more than 5,000 farmers and ranchers across the country about the rapidly increasing price of fertilizer. Faith Parham, an economist for the Farm Bureau, said the survey found that an overwhelming majority of survey respondents said they can't afford all the fertilizer they need.
Fertilizer purchasing patterns are different by regions, and so in the Midwest, it's more normal to pre-book your fertilizer. So over 67% of our farmers in the Midwest pre-booked their fertilizer compared to only 19% in the South. And so we're really seeing regional differences, and farmers who didn't pre-book really got hit by those price increases.
Parham said the differences in regional purchasing patterns are related to the commodities farmers grow, as well as the overall differences in the farm economy.
Farmers in the South right now are a little bit more price sensitive. We've seen really low commodity prices for things like peanuts, cotton, and rice. When fertilizer was already expensive before the conflict, they were kind of hoping and waiting to see if that price would go back down. But unfortunately, that's not the case this year.
Those fertilizer increases are combining with rising fuel prices and squeezing bottom lines further.
One, we're seeing, again, those increases in fertilizer prices, but we're also seeing an increase in fuel prices. So this continues to tighten margins for farmers and ranchers across the country. Even if the conflict stopped today and we saw normal shipments resuming, it would take a while for those prices to come back down to normal. So we're going to see the impacts of this for a few months ahead.
You can learn more at fb.org. Chad Smith, Washington.
A much-needed rain to the plains may be on the way. More when Farm Weekend returns.
The farmers and ranchers of Kansas Farm Bureau work daily to ensure they are raising the healthiest crops and animals with care to provide a safe and nutritious meal from their family to you and your family. Learn more about these Kansas farmers and ranchers and get great recipes featuring the products they raise by visiting our website, www.kansaslivingmagazine.com.
Farmers across the southern plains and Texas are searching for rain relief as drought conditions continue. Updated forecasts are predicting that a strong historic El Niño is to develop, and the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, is placing a 50% chance on the weather event. El Niños are known to change weather patterns when warm ocean water spreads across the Pacific, often shifting storms into the southern U.S. and the plains. Ag meteorologist Brian Bledsoe said the talk of the strong weather pattern could be good news for the South and the plains, but the Pacific Northwest for summer and fall is still of concern. Bledsoe also said if we look beyond that for the 30-day period, we start to see that dry signal diminish considerably in the middle part of the country. For many producers who have endured multiple years of harsh drought conditions, there is hope on the ocean horizon. Next, Insight with Greg Deering.
Frustrated with your current healthcare coverage? Kansans are saving up to 60% a month with Kansas Farm Bureau health plans. Choose from individual and family plans, short-term coverage, or dental and vision plans. It's quality coverage you can afford. Learn more and get a free quote by visiting kfbhealthplans.com or visiting a Farm Bureau Financial Services agent near you.
Now, Insight with Greg Deering.
Spring in the Flint Hills can be a trying season. One morning you don't need a jacket, but by afternoon you wish you had brought one. The winds swirl, the temperatures swing, and it's hard to know what the day will bring. But that unpredictability is what makes the best days so enjoyable. A light breeze, warm sun, and just the hint of green returning to the prairie. Across Kansas, native grasslands are waking up. What looks barren today will soon become a sea of green, supporting millions of grazing cattle. Part of that transformation comes from something you can't miss this time of year: smoke on the horizon. Prescribed burns are a vital tool ranchers use to protect the prairie. The blazes clear invasive plants and help native grass thrive, just like it has for thousands of years. Still, that smoke can be frustrating, especially when it drifts into town, sometimes forcing us indoors on one of those beautiful spring days. But that haze is also a sign of something important: care for the land and care for our way of life, because those same spring winds that carry the smoke across Kansas are also carrying the work it takes to keep the prairie from slipping away.
Join us next week for another edition of Farm Weekend from Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture.